compounds of D block. Now, the compounds of D block, there are various types of compounds formed by these elements. For example, you can see scandium nitrate, ScNO3 thrice, titanium dioxide, a bright white pigment. Then we have got chromium oxide, potassium dichromate, then copper sulfate, and many other types. The minerals from which the transition metals are extracted to form their suitable compounds are different types of ores as well as minerals, of course. They are, you can see here, chalcopyrite, which has a formula of CuFeS2. Then here there is magnetite, FeO, Fe2O3. Then you have got pyrolusite, that is from where we get manganese. Now, the oxides of chromium, there are many. One of them is available in the chromite ore, and the chromite ore has a formula Fe2CrO4. In this ore, you can see it is a grayish black in color. The most common compounds that we can prepare from this ore are the chromium salts like sodium and potassium chromates and sodium and potassium dichromates, lead chromate, and so on. Now, K2Cr2O7 is the potassium dichromate which you use as a mordant and dye in textile industry. School buses are painted in chrome yellow, that is lead chromate. Next, here we see the other ores of D block elements. Wolframite, it's a tungsten ore. Serpentinite, that is palladium and platinum ore. We have here a greenish ore of nickel, garnierite. Cobalt ore is erythrite and it has association with arsenic also. There is horn silver, which is AgCl, also called as Cerar gyrite. So these are the minerals and ores from which we can extract the D block elements, their metals, and then we can form different compounds. Next, in potassium dichromate, which is the most important ore we are going to study, you will see that the formula of potassium dichromate is K2Cr2O7. Its extraction is done from chromite ore, and then from chromite ore, after we prepare K2Cr2O7, we can extract chromium also. Now, K2Cr2O7 is used mostly in reactions as oxidizing agent. It is used in tanning and leather industry and prepared from the ore by fusing it with finely powdered ore and Na2CO3 or K2CO3. A block diagram showing the simple steps are shown here. You have first concentration of the ore after pulverizing, then there is conversion into Na2CrO4, then you have got conversion into Na2Cr2O7, finally that is converted into K2Cr2O7, and we have the purified K2Cr2O7 after crystallization. The process consists of first powdering the ore. Once the ore has been finely powdered, then it is allowed to be concentrated. Concentration is done by gravity separation method, means the gangue has to be removed from the ore, and that is done by hydraulic washing or levitation. In this method, you can see a huge funnel shaped structure from where at the bottom water is passed through the bottom and through pipes and in great jet, means with great pressure. Through the hopper, the powdered ore is poured into this big hydraulic washing container. Now, the particles of the ore get mixed with the water, the lighter particles of the gangue get removed from top, and the heavier particles of the metal settle at the bottom. Next, after the ore has been concentrated, then we go in for heating or drying that ore, wet ore, and then heating it or fusing it with calcium oxide and sodium carbonate in order to achieve our product, that is K2Cr2O7. finally. So step by step, first we heat the ore in the reverberatory furnace. You can see here there is no direct heating, but there is a fire gate from where hot fumes are going over the charge, and then the flue or the gases which are formed like SO2, CO2, they escape through the chimney over here. This is done with the addition of a small amount of calcium carbonate and lime. What does lime do? Lime acts as a flux. Then what does calcium carbonate do? Calcium carbonate helps to maintain the porous nature of the product that is going to be obtained after the fusion over here. Now why do we need to maintain it as the porous nature? Because if the porous nature is not maintained, removal of the product becomes very difficult from this furnace. It will simply stick to the wall of that furnace over here, as you can see, and then we cannot remove it easily.